Hi, y'all. My name is Denasia, and I am a 22-year-old type A Black girl from Las Vegas who just moved to New York City last year to work for L'Oreal as a financial analyst.
Hey y'all, my name is Faith, and I'm a 23-year-old type A Black girl from AZ living in Denver, working remotely for Cisco as a business analyst.
Season 5 is here, and we cannot wait to share more about our personal lives, working big girl jobs,
Relationships, and life in general as type A Black girls. Hope you enjoy.
Hi, guys. Welcome back.
Hey
What's up?
everyone, welcome to season 5, episode 5.
This is all about. Bro. I just want to leave that in, low key.
What?
We just glitched. For context, we just talked for 2 hours.
Straight.
Just straight, no breaks. Just
Nope. And we be going
like topic after topic. Like you would think we created a list before we got on. Like we are just talking.
yeah. And it was type A and life though.
It was business and personal. Like
Yeah. And we
so
needed that. We really did. We really do need catch ups. To this date, I still haven't told Denasia about Philly, and I do need to. And not a lot happened, but still, it's a portion of my life that I just never got to. So,
right.
but yeah, moms, we are video again for the second time, and honestly, the girls ate it up last episode. So we gonna keep on now. Like you guys are not gonna not see us unless like if you guys don't get a video episode, just know something really intense happened and just listen to audio like you guys have done for the past 4 seasons.
Exactly. And to our girlies that are audio only, we really do recommend that you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's in the bio of this episode, youtube.com/type A Black Girls.
Podcast.
So podcast. So just make sure you subscribe because we are trying to hit 100 subscribers before the end of this season, and we're only at 64.
Yeah.
So, thank you to everyone that has subscribed. But if you're listening and you want to see our faces,
Yeah.
and you're tired of seeing us on Instagram, you want to switch platforms.
I will say, sometimes we recycle on Instagram, and I will say the girlies on YouTube. Thank you for commenting because it does help the algorithm. And the girlies have been saying, I really do love to see you guys' like facial expressions and emotions because it helps. It really does.
And the thing is, like, we've been seeing each other. So the format you guys are seeing us on, we've always seen each other. It's just that when we record, it's only audio. So we just basically just turn the video on. So it's like y'all are finally seeing our facial expressions. But when we call, like, it's giving FaceTime. So
Absolutely.
now y'all can actually see when we are like silent laughing,
all that
bombastic side eyes, like the whole nine.
No, literally, no, huge fact. So it'll also be in our link tree on Instagram. We honestly, the amount of listeners we have almost correlates to our Instagram followers, depending on the episode. If it's a boy episode, y'all really eat those up. So, and we know that.
The consistent, like the people that come consistently, it's like the same people that always comment on our Instagram pictures, our Instagram follow amount, like the whole nine.
Yeah. So thank you, because y'all are type A. TABGs for real.
Y'all are holding it down. But let's go ahead and get into our rosebud and thorn. If you guys are new here, your rose is something interesting throughout your week. Your bud is something you're looking forward to next week, and your thorn is something terrible in your week.
Yeah.
So, Mom, do you want to go first?
Absolutely. I don't think I've gone first in a while because
I was like, yeah, like let's hear.
Yeah. So, for my rose, it was recently Mother's Day, and my mom has been initially she wanted to do a rainbow tube top photo shoot, and so me and my sisters convinced her to do a brown skin girl photo shoot because she's been wanting to do a brown skin girl photo shoot for the longest. Now, where did that come from? I'm sure somewhere on Facebook. That's where all the moms get their things, their inspo. That's their Pinterest. I'm not gonna. That is their Pinterest. So we did my little sister's boyfriend, like I said on the last pod, is a photographer, CJ Spanks on Instagram, and honestly, one of our photo shoots, I definitely want him to record, take because he eats like real bad. So we had a photo shoot. It was so cute. We were all brown. My mom is Charity. Charity and Joy were in like Jaguar cheetah vibes, like cheetah girl vibes, and then me and Hope were in brown, and it just gave real hard. And we even redid a photo that we took. We haven't taken any pictures since I was 9. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yes. So 14 years later, we redid those videos and those pictures. And the thing is, our legs aren't as long, aren't as short, so it was kind of hard to recreate it. But we kind of tried to make some shake. But it was super cute. And then we spent the whole weekend together. Granted, I was only there for 24 hours. So I got in, we got dressed, got some tacos, took our pictures, went to sleep. And then my mom woke us up at like 2:15 to go. She's talking about something. We have 15 minutes. Girl, what are you talking about?
15 minutes to do what?
We said we were going to leave at 3. She's like, oh, we need to get gas. I need to get my sunflower seeds and coffee because that's typically like that's her go-to for driving. And so we basically left. So the thing is, when my mom says to wake up, we typically don't wake up. But I'm like, no, this is Mother's Day. I'm like, Hope, get up. She's like, leave me alone. I'm like, we already got an attitude, and it's 2 a.m.
And we ain't even get in the outfits yet.
And I'm like literally, I'm like, Mom said wake up, so you need to wake up because like. So then she was rushing, and I was like, So look who's rushing. So yeah, and then that's
like a true older sister.
True older sister. Like, it's Mother's Day. Out of all the days, I need you to wake up like on time. Like, get up. She said get up 15 minutes ago, get up. So she's like, anyways, so we went to Sedona. This it's called Sedona Skyrise, like scenic something. I don't know. I'll try to put it on the story or something, but it was so great. My mom drove us, and we did this a few years back. So we all sat down, we all hiked for about 3 minutes, if that. We was all out of breath. And then except for Joy, because she's a track runner, and then we all sat and we watched the sunrise. And I didn't hear this, but we were all giggling. But it's like quiet and like holistic vibes there. And this lady was like, shh, people are trying to pray and meditate to Hope. But then I didn't hear that. So Hope was like, shh. And I was like, why are you telling me to shh? Like, shut up. And then nobody else had blankets there, but we brought blankets from the hotel because we knew it was going to be cold. So we're literally like bundled up. It was just great. And then we get to the back to the hotel, and she's like, yeah, that lady told me to shh. And I said, what? I thought you were just telling me that because you just wanted me to be quiet. I said, if I would have known that, I would have been like, lady, this is not your rock.
This is not your rock, and it's Mother's Day, baby.
Yes,
mind your business.
Exactly. And Hope isn't her like holistic, like, nice era. If you would have said that to Hope 2-3 years ago,
somebody would have got pushed off that rock.
Somebody would have got pushed off that rock, and that mapped. But yeah, it was a beautiful sunrise. I'm just glad Hope didn't tell us. I low-key didn't want her, because I'm like, only I talk to my sister like that. You don't, no,
it don't work like that.
It don't work like that. No. So yeah, I was kind of irritated. And then didn't even stay for sunrise. Like, what? You couldn't have prayed for that long or meditated for that long.
I'm gonna pray for her anyway, because
okay. It was doing like this weird ritual where like the man was giving the girl the dog tag, and they were like holding it together. I'm like, y'all are weird. But I thought they were weird even before knowing that. But anyways, we did that. It was good. It felt like silent library because we had to be quiet, but we was giggling hard. Like everything made us giggle. It was funny. It was great. And I'm the picture sister, so I'm like taking pictures. Joy's like, oh, I'm cold. I said, shut up. I'm putting this picture up. I'm putting this video, and we're gonna take this video. Because I'm the historian, realistically. I'm the historian. Yeah. So, yeah. And me and my sister say shut up to each other like regular. So that's not rude. It's just like, you need to shut up, and like, this is Mother's Day.
And listen. Yeah, because I have things to say.
Yeah, I don't care if you're cold. Be cold for 3 more seconds. Okay. And then, so we went home, took a nap. Everybody got dressed. And then I took my mom out to a steakhouse dinner.
Love.
So I had budgeted about $150 for this. Like, that's, Hope's vegan, so she got pay way and some tofu soup or something like that, and it's something. And then Joy got a Caesar salad because she was like, this is too expensive. But I was like, Mom, get what you want. You know that scene in White Girls where she's like, perhaps I want.
Not. Let me get the.
I swear, she was like, the lady came. She's like, we have this. Do we have a wine memo? Would you like that? My mom was like, yeah. She got a prosecco. I'm like, okay. That's that much, okay.
So now the prosecco alone is about, and that was that the bottle or was that the glass?
No, that was glass, but I didn't budget for her to get anything, actually, any drink, just water, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then she's like, and then I'll get a ribeye. I was like, okay. And then she's like, 16. And she's like, where's the sides at? And the sides are shareable. Like, the sides are not for one person, but I didn't really want any sides. So then she's like, and then I'll get some scalloped potatoes and what else does she get? And a wedge salad. Now you ain't never ate this much.
Ain't never had a web salad to this day.
Like, what? So then I'm like, okay. So then Okay, so we keep that in because what?
We have to keep that in. Loki, the bloopers be funny, y'all. Like I be cutting those out, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
they
this is on
add to
point.
it. They
What
add
is
some seasoning.
flying in my face? Do you see
Yeah,
this?
I was wondering. I don't know.
That's never happened before.
It's just it's not there no more.
Like I got scared low key because you know, like you be seeing orbs in like horror movies. Like, what's going
Yes,
on?
like that movie we watched. What? Remember with the lady that she came and it was like that that was the therapist and there was like the orbs in the sky. Remember we watched it during the pandemic, moms?
Oh, behind her eyes.
Yes,
Oh,
like that.
that was crazy. I didn't like that.
No, that was demonic.
That was an unsettling show. If y'all want to watch something unsettling, watch Behind Her Eyes. That was weird.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I get my food and I've been really I love a good risotto. Like it just sounds like it would taste good with to me, but because I cook so much, I kind of taste the things in my head before I actually taste them. So I have a taste of
Mm.
what they should taste like, and I want them to exceed my expectations. I got okay, okay. I got grilled chicken and risotto, and I'm like, oh, period. Like I'm lit. Like I'm like Parmesan risotto. Like this is about to be lit, moms.
Yeah.
I tell you that chicken. First off, let me just say this. So my sisters love bread. Like Joy loves a good bread basket.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Moms, they had cut up. I cannot make this up. It looked like, and there were the indents. It looked like they peeled off the blueberry muffins from brunch and cut it up, put it in the bread basket. Then there was this huge communion piece of bread. Okay, just like huge, just
Communion is crazy. Is this
mom. It was, and then they had like these just like everything bagel breads, and that was the best part of it. And I hate everything bagels. It was like sesames and the little black seeds. Like it was not like it was like okay, well let me just scrape the seeds off. And I'm
yeah.
like, this is a leftover bread basket. Like I don't know what, but everybody like when I tell you, it was the size of a big piece of the communion bread, and it was just hanging. And I was just like, do you want me to put but like it was like think of a not even Ritz cracker vibes, moms. It was saltines. It was a huge saltine at a steakhouse, moms. And the blueberry muffins were cut up. And I
Like
was just like,
I know y'all have a bread budget.
I know y'all do. And then hopefully
Cheesecake has better bread than that. That brown
that's what
bread?
we were saying, okay? And then Hope found a piece of like something on her cup, and she's like, "If it was Cheesecake Factory, I wouldn't care. But this is Capital Grill. Why is there?" And I was, and Hope was like, literally, the lady came, and Hope was like, "Yeah, just a little dirt." And she's like, "Yeah, I know, girl. If you knew, you shouldn't have put it on the table,
I hate when waiters be acting like they knew all along. Like, no, you didn't, babes.
because you would have made sure we was good before." Anyways, back to my risotto, the chicken. I tasted, I'm like, okay, there's grill marks in here, but I don't taste any seasoning. So I'm like, let me put some salt and pepper on it. Putting salt and pepper on something that I'm already spending $35 on, a little crazy.
Insane.
Then the
Insane.
risotto, I tasted, I'm like, it tastes watered down. Like it looks great, great presentation, but it looks watered down. And there's asparagus, but the asparagus is barely cooked and good, great asparagus. But I'm like, where's the seasoning? Not seasoning. I'm talking about literally dead, nowhere to be found. RIP vibes. Okay. So I'm like putting salt and pepper on it. And I'm like, hey mom, like you can have leftovers. But I'm like, no, wait. I'm not paying $35 for my mom to just have leftovers. Absolutely not. She can
Mm.
have that steak and that scalloped potato and that wedge for leftovers. I said, hey, the manager came and I still was trying to pick at it, but literally I'd taken maybe 6 bites, and the waiter came and I was like, hey, like this was not up to standards. Like
Send this back.
I need you to take this back. She's like, I'm so sorry. Like what was bad about it? What was bad about it? I was like, it had no seasoning.
Literally everything was bad about it. I need you to get a new chef.
Mom, I was just like, you know what, I'm just glad my mom had a good time,
Yeah.
and then they brought her like a happy Mother's Day cake, and we sang happy Mother's Day to her in this tune of happy birthday because she's extra and why not, it's her mom. So we're like happy Mother's Day, and like yeah,
To charity. Like,
literally, literally. So yeah, and then another one of my, I know that road was long, but Another one to this morning. So I live with my boyfriend. If you guys don't know, if you guys are living under a rock and have this your first episode, okay, live with my boyfriend. It's been a long time coming, long distance. Listen to the past episodes. You'll hear his name. His name is Dammy. I call him Lola. Anyways, every morning I typically we like whoever wakes up, we kiss each other, and then before he leaves, he kisses me because I work from home and he leaves. But the last time he came into the office when I was working, I got an attitude with him because I'm like, I'm trying to be professional, and you just sitting behind me, just staring at the screen. What's going on? But so now he's like a little scarred to not come into the room. So not a die.
You're
So
dying.
so
I'm probably gonna die too. Our
yeah,
light died.
yeah, I might put my flashlight on, but my eyes are hurting. But so he didn't come in, but I smell him, and then I smell his cologne, and then I hear the door lock, and I'm like, is he insane? Where's my kiss at? So then I'm like, hey, I don't think this meeting, we really didn't need to have it. It was just like a little tag up. I said, hey, I think we're good. I'll see you next week. Okay, great. She gets 15 minutes back. I get 15 minutes back. I put on some slides and I put on some pants because I don't work in pants. I just work in a shirt. I start running down the hallway. Don't lock the door because I don't have a key yet. I start running down the hallway and I hold the hallway door and I'm opening up the garage door and I'm like, Sweets! And he's like, Faith, what are you doing? And I'm like, you didn't give me a kiss. He's like, Faith, you were in a meeting. And I was like, okay.
That's not the point. Is
And
I never got a kiss. That's the point.
literally, like, come on.
You owe me. You owe me.
No, you literally owe me. And he literally looks at me and he goes, you're insane. And then he kisses me and then leaves. And I was giggling about him calling me insane because realistically that was a little insane. But that's how I've been starting off my day for the past week and a half. So now I'm thrown off.
And now this is a tradition, baby. We're not breaking, we're setting new generational traditions.
Thank
Don't
you.
break them.
Don't break them.
That might be a little dramatic, but warranted.
But warranted, because I'm used to this. Okay.
You better than me. I would have blocked him and told him you get unblocked when you get when I get my kiss.
Wait.
You would have to email me.
And sometimes he does email my work computer or like my regular computer and say vice versa, but I just be too into work or whatever. But like I said, I don't know if I said this in this pod. I don't think so, but I've just been going. That was my last flight. Every non-rent paycheck, I bought a flight or two.
Crazy.
So, yeah. So that's
by Southwest at this point.
Swear once, and the thing is, Google Flights doesn't show Southwest, so
yeah,
I was like, but yeah, I can finally sit and relax and just live a life of off of an airplane for a while. Yeah. And finally, with my thorn, I'm losing in our monthly competition. Basically, we have some things that like those things that you're like, ugh. But if your partner asks for you to do them, you're going to do them. Now we have points. We're competitive. I'm losing currently. I have 3. He has about 14 points. And whoever gets a 50 gets a prize at the end of every month. So we got 13 more days, or 13 or 14. And finally, we have this supply chain, like forecastly, kind of like a crowdsourcing competition in supply chain. Girl, why was I 1% and some change off from getting top 3? And I got 4th overall. I was like,
they don't be giving out prizes for 4th place.
They don't. Granted, I still am a lottery winner. So like they put us in a lottery, and I got to be a winner for that. But I was just like, because if you get in top 3, you get Cisco money, and Cisco got a real nice store. Like they got Coach bags, Michael Kors bags, all that stuff. So I've been trying to rack up my they call it connected recognition. So that's what we got going on over here. What's going on over there, Mom? That was a long RBT. I'm not gonna hold you. She was long.
That's good, Mom. That's good. Because we don't really be giving y'all details of our lives unless we do a catch-up episode. So it's like, like this is all you got. If anything, fast forward. Okay. My rose is that this weekend I was in Vegas, and part of it was like a Mother's Day surprise. Part of it was for my line sisters that graduated. And I surprised my mom. So first of all, trying to surprise this lady, like she would put in 2 and 2 together and get 4, like it's no tomorrow. So I was like, I really don't know if I can pull this off, because this lady really be like realizing things and be like, wait, you said you were here. What do you mean you're here? And she would put it together. So we was just lying. She's like, what are you doing this weekend? I was like, oh, I'll be with me, and then we're gonna do that. Like just capping. And I was like, I flew in on Thursday night, and she's a nurse, so she works nights, and she was gonna basically worked 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I flew in at midnight, was knocked. Girl, I slept so good. I was
Mhm.
knocked in my old bed, which she changed the sheets on. And I did feel some type of way about that because I was just like, when I come back, whose sheets are these? You know, like I'm feeling like a foreigner in my own home.
Mhm.
And I realize it's not my home no more, but don't change them sheets. Like
Yeah.
I had a bond with them sheets. So the sheets, and she didn't even just change them. She threw away the old ones. Like
That
I
sounds
said,
like Mama Thompson.
we didn't need to throw them away. Like they're not contaminated. Like okay, regardless. So I was sleeping on these foreign ass sheets, and she's like,
Okay.
I know her routine. So when she comes home from work, she'll be like stripped down. Like in the garage, she thinks her clothes are not contaminated, which granted they are. She does work in an ICU unit. Like that's fair. So
Yeah.
she will literally take everything off and she will run upstairs and take her shower and scrub herself because ICU works with COVID patients.
Yeah.
And then she'll come downstairs, she'll eat her breakfast, and then she'll call me every Friday. Because
Mhm.
she knows I work from home. She's like, you can talk.
Yeah.
So she'll call me. And yeah, so I was like, well, I gotta surprise her before she calls me because she'll hear my phone go off in the other room. Now what?
Literally.
Surprise ruined. So she was downstairs doing something. I walked out and I was like, oh, what you I just continued her conversation. Like she was talking about something. I was like, oh yeah, me too, girl. Like something like that. She gonna jump. just dramatic. Like I come from a very long line of dramatic women and it shows every time. Like she told my grandma I surprised her and my grandma started crying. She was like, just to have a good daughter like that, like as if that wasn't her daughter. Like I said, grandma,
To have a good daughter.
to have a good daughter is crazy. Like every time I call my grandma, she's like, I'm just so blessed you called because you're a busy lady, and she'd be afraid to call me. She's like,
Mm.
she's afraid I'm in a meeting or something. I'm like, grandma, it's 9 p.m. Granted, you never know, but it's
Yeah.
like I'd be like, grandma, you can call me.
Yeah.
She's just like, I don't know, like, and I'm like, okay. So I'd be giving her calls, and she'd be crying. So my mom was like, oh, you can't do that no more because my heart getting bad. And I said, what you?
She's not even old.
I said, you're not even 50.
Literally.
What you mean your heart getting bad?
For
And
real.
I can't surprise you no more because you don't know how your body gonna react. I said, Mom, please go eat your waffle and sit
Like, call
down.
today. Come on now.
Eat your waffle. So yeah, we had breakfast and then she got a massage on Saturday and we went out to Texas Roadhouse. Love Texas Roadhouse down.
No,
Love Texas
that
Roadhouse.
sounds good.
Girl, I was basically just hitting up all my spots. Like
Mhm.
any chance I had, if I was hungry, I was like, I'm gonna go to a spot that I can't eat at back home.
Yeah.
So yeah, Vegas was great. And my line sisters was graduating. It was hot as hell though. Oh my God. Like I basically stayed on campus the entire day because Blair was in the morning at 9 a.m. and Joy was at 2 p.m.
Oh.
And I was like, I really can't go home. It's a 45-minute drive back home. And by the time I
Yeah.
get home, I gotta leave anyway. So I was really just like kind of stuck downtown. But
Yeah.
long story short, love it. And everyone was like, when are you coming back? I said, see y'all
Well,
at Christmas.
how about we really enjoy that I'm here now?
Yeah, let's enjoy the present.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy the present because
It's
I'm not
about to
worried
be
about.
summer.
Thank you, and I'm about to be outside.
Yeah.
So unless y'all come to me, I don't know what to tell you.
Mm.
But girl, I'm looking forward to going to sleep. I'm not gonna lie. Like I was telling Faith before this, like for one, I'm on my period. Two, part of my thorn is that I had ordered ibuprofen and Mike and Ike's.
That's it.
Them two items to be delivered because I just got back from work. I had that basically scheduled to be delivered right when I got home. Why did I open up that bag? And I did not see no ibuprofen. I saw some knockoff Tylenol that don't work, and I saw M&Ms, peanut, caramel M&Ms. I literally have it right here. I said, "Did these look like Mike and Ike's to y'all?
It was a man.
Let me know. Did these look like they're not? They're not Mike and Ike's." And I was pissed because I've been craving Mike and Ike's bad, and I ain't seen him. So I was really upset. Like I was ready to hunt him down, and I knew I had just beat him there like a second. So I knew he was probably still in the building, like in the elevator or something. I literally debated about trying to find him and kicking his bike over because he traveled via bike, and I was like, I have it out for you because you had two things you had to get,
That's it.
and I know they had both of those things there because it wouldn't have been listed.
Abolish male Instacarters.
Oh my God. Like I've never had a male Instacarter driver that don't disappoint me. Speaking of disappointment, so TSA, I have clear, right? So I
Okay.
be breezing through the airport. Like I be low key pushing it, like getting there like 30 minutes before, which is very like
Type P.
if y'all could see if you're not watching video, you didn't see his face right now.
That
Like,
freaking
yeah,
scared
like
me.
I used to go like 2 hours before, but
Yeah.
with clear, I be breezing, baby. So
Okay.
yeah, I've pushed it to 30 minutes. And this last time I was actually like an hour, I was an hour ahead, and I went in the clear line, which is also like basically like near the first class line. So like they
Mhm.
made it the same line. If you have
Yeah.
TSA pre-check, if you have clear, or if you have first class. So I took my little self up to first class because that's where I'm
Mhm.
supposed to be.
Mhm.
And I had my clear, and they brought, if you have clear, they bring you right to the front, like you cut the whole line. And
Yeah.
that even includes the people that are in first class.
Yeah.
So when I come up to the front with the lady, this family off to the side, it's like a white soccer mom, her husband, and like two kids,
Yeah.
and they're flying first class as well. And they're like, well, not as well, I was in economy, but they were first class. And when she saw that I had like cut the line, she like looked at her husband and was like, looked at her, looked at him, look at me, look back at her. And I said, I don't know what you're looking at, babes. If you have something to say it. And she kept looking at me, and like people get restless, they're like mind you, it was only her and like another man in front of them in the line, so she would have got through real quick. But
Yeah.
she started huffing and puffing, and I was just waiting on the clear lady to let me through. Like that was my green light. And she asked the guy, like checking IDs and boarding passes. She's like, so if people have clear and TSA pre-check, does that just give them a right to basically cross the line and not take anybody that's in first class first? Are we not first class? I said, oh,
Frack.
oh, you took that personal, babes. And I
Dog.
was like, and she looked at me, but she didn't even address the man. She's looking at me as she's saying this, so I knew it was a personal attack. I said, oh, you wretch, you heifer, you. So I told her, I was like, I have clear, and it's the same line, because I knew she was talking directly at me. She wasn't
Yeah.
asking out of curiosity, babes. If I wasn't here, you wouldn't have asked that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I have clear, and obviously this is the same line. And she was like, yeah, but I mean, we were first class and we were here first. And I said, well, maybe you should invest in clear. It's a great investment. Pissed her off. I said, I am not dealing with you today. Like,
That airport.
luckily, my patience has
Mm-mm.
run completely thin. Like, I don't have it for nobody.
Mm-mm.
Maybe New York did something to me, but I have no patience whatsoever. Like, I will say whatever I had to say. And she couldn't even be mad at that because it is a great investment. I said, it's only like $200 a year. Like, I think you should go for it. And that pissed her off. Pissed her off because I really just killed her with kindness. And she
Quickly.
looked at her husband like, do something. And he like, well,
To punch
I said, what is he gonna do? He looked like he was about to buy clear. If anything, I think I just sold him. Like, so yeah.
you. Thick.
I was hoping she missed her flight deep down inside. I really was, because she was being real nasty
Yeah.
for no reason. I said, you're gonna make it, babes. Like, there wasn't even that much traffic. Like, I could have went in the regular like line and probably still made it on time to my flight with 30 minutes to spare. So
Wow.
yeah, hate. So yeah, that's my thorn. But
Yeah.
let's go ahead and get into this actual episode because we already have a long intro.
That part.
So it is graduation season. Like I
Yes.
said, my line sister just graduated, which definitely brought back memories because it's been a year now, which is weird to say.
Yeah.
I feel like we getting up there. Like, I can't just say I just graduated because it's definitely been a year.
No. For
But
real.
I mean, we also just wanted to just share with you guys some advice we wish we knew before we graduated, both high school and college, because
Yeah.
we have a range of listeners, and I feel like we've been through a lot of experiences to where we can now speak on this.
Yeah. Absolutely. Granted, we are only 1 year in, but we've gone through high school, had
Yep.
solid high school careers, and went through college. I don't want to go back, but we had some solid college careers. And this whole podcast is to help the girlies not make the same mistakes as we did.
Facts. And you saying like we made mistakes. I think we didn't even, it wasn't necessarily even mistakes. I feel like it was just, you don't know unless you know.
That part. And are you first gen too?
My mom went to college, but I'll be first gen grad school.
I see. So I'm first gen undergrad, and it's really learn as you go.
Yeah, literally figuring out as you go. And it's like, obviously we did our best, and we did a damn good job. Like, we're
That part.
here.
We're
But
here.
it's like, you genuinely don't know unless you know. So learn from us, because
That part.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go quickly over high school because we don't have a majority of. I think majority of our girlies are in college and are recent undergrad graduates. But we're gonna kind of rapid fire some high school topics and then go straight into college. So, mom's gonna start with that first one.
Yeah. So the first one being that you can truly reinvent yourself in college. I think people see college as like this new opportunity to kind of start fresh, and it really is that opportunity. Like whoever you want to be in college or whoever you see yourself, that future version of yourself, you can truly become that. And
Yeah,
even if you go to, I think I was afraid, like I would see people from high school and they'd be like, "Hey, she wasn't like that in high school," and like have this fear that like you changed, but you're supposed to change.
you're supposed to change.
So yeah,
Yeah,
you can't turn into a butterfly unless you do. So don't stay
that
as a
part.
caterpillar, baby.
Yeah, even if you didn't get into your dream school, you're going to school, so make the most of it. I wanted to go to Spelman, but I never applied because I didn't feel like I had enough common sense. Nor did my mom. My mom was genuinely so scared for me to even go to school 40 minutes away. So just make the most of it. I had a grand time once I just kind of been like, okay, you know what? This is where the majority of the scholarships are. This is where I got accepted, and this is where I'm gonna have fun and still be able to see my family whenever I want to. So make the most of it. Stop sulking and suck it up. And either way, you're getting a college degree. So at the end of the day.
Facts. This one hits very hard, and 18-year-old me would be pissed that I'm even saying this, but don't dwell so much on what school you go to for undergrad. It matters, but at the end of the day, you're getting an education. That's all that matters. I got into my dream schools, Georgetown and Howard, and all I wanted was to go there, like bad. Like I was watching dorm videos on YouTube, like
Mm-hmm.
invested. And when I didn't go to those schools, and I was like, I feel like I wasted all that time and energy doing applications and trying to get the perfect GPA and all these extracurriculars, and for what? Like at the end of the day, I feel like it worked out because I'm now going to another dream school for grad school.
Yep.
I graduated debt free. Like I literally have no ties to that school anymore besides the piece of paper they gave me when I graduated. And
Yeah.
it's just like, like make the most of your situation and also trust the process. Don't compare yourself to other people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And which is hard to this day, still hard for me, but it's a cliche thing, but it really helps if you really take it to heart. Also try to get a mentor that looks like you, whether that's a professor that you can trust, someone older than you in a club that you join, or an advisor that you feel like you can trust, because those are kind of a hit and miss that Denasia will just get into right now.
Yeah, I had an advisor in high school who like at the time for some reason I was obsessed with going to UCLA, and I had been talking about that, and I had all the credentials, I had the GPA to get in. Like there was no reason why he could have told me I shouldn't go, but he was like, that's not really for you. I feel like, you should shoot a little bit lower. Like I don't want you to basically lowball yourself and try to go for a higher ranking school and you're not going to get in. He basically told me I'm not going to get in. And I remember after the second session, I had told him that, and he had said that again. I was like, okay, like I just can't get into UCLA. And as I was walking out, I looked at the top of like his like office, and I saw he literally had a degree from UCLA. Like this man was literally a UCLA alum
Whoa.
and was telling me I shouldn't go and it's a bad idea. I'm like, you can't even rep for your own school, and I can get in.
Yep.
But I think looking back, it was definitely like a naive moment on my end, and I was just thinking he's my advisor, he knows best.
Yeah.
Sometimes they might not have your best interest at heart, and looking back, I feel like it was definitely racially charged because why are
Yeah.
you telling me that I can't get in? And I was valedictorian. So I mean,
Literally.
crazy.
Yeah.
So definitely try to find an advisor that looks like you and that you can trust because they're not all the best.
Yeah. This is more so when you graduate high school. Try to do super good in those first few semesters of college, whether that's community college or actual university, because it gets worse every freaking year as you progress. I'm not gonna hold you. It's only going to get worse. Like it
Yeah.
granted, people said junior year was the worst. I didn't see that, but also I switched my major right before junior year, so that may have been it to a more so easier major. Every major is gonna be hard in one way or another. But yeah, try to do super, super well, like straight A's for the first 2, 3, 4 semesters, because it's gonna help your GPA when you might fail or get a C, your first C, your first F, like it's gonna help your GPA.
A
So yeah,
whole bunch.
that's yeah,
A whole bunch. Like it will really help. Like I was like, okay, let me just do really well because I had heard the rumors like, hey, just so you know, junior year and even second semester sophomore year, like that's gonna do it.
yeah,
Um like even and then the pandemic hit during my time. I was a sophomore and junior, so that added another layer to it. So
Or,
you would never know what's going to happen. I would never predicted that COVID was going to happen and affect
mm-mm,
what happened. And I'm not going to hold
everything.
you. The student in me died March 14th,
I
2020.
swear. Yeah.
Once we went into this online mode, like I just genuinely could not focus and I was just struggling through the whole
Yep.
rest of the 2 years. So given that, not to say we're gonna go through another pandemic, just really try to invest time into those first couple semesters.
Yep.
Also
Absolutely.
before you start college, sorry to cut you off, moms.
No, you're good. I was agreeing with you.
The whole party pack, you need to have a good party pack of shoes, shorts, crop tops,
Yep.
dresses that you just bring with you.
Yep.
And that's your party outfit. That's basically your uniform. You don't have to go all
Mhm.
out, but yeah, you need to have a starter pack of stuff that you're wearing and invest time to like look good and have your college attire ready to
Yeah.
go.
For me, I didn't care. It really is like you had to choose. Like, are you going to care when you go into class? And it also depends how many times are you going into class and how many classes are remote or like work from school from home. Because for me, I was like, all right, I'm going into class. I'm going to university. Let me actually look nice. But I wasn't doing that if I was going in at 5 days in a row. I'll tell you that right now. No.
Girl, I'm not gonna hold you. I was only doing that on the days where I had a crush in my class.
Okay. Okay. That makes more sense.
That's really what it was. I was like, when I look back, the amount of effort was depending on who else finna see that day. Because usually I was the only black girl in my class.
Yep.
They don't know if my hair is new or old. They don't know if these bots
True.
braids, if there's no longer no bots in them. They have no idea.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I trying? Like some days I was like, I don't care. But let's say I knew I was gonna see my man on Wednesday because we walked past each other at the end of that class. I was gonna make sure I look good. Like it was just something to just keep me excited, honestly.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I've been telling this for a while now. Like crushes made school fun.
They do.
They
Bad.
really
Like
did.
crushes and your friends that are like in those like you're looking forward to seeing them in that class. Yeah.
Literally that. Like the times where I had horrible semesters and I didn't have no one to look forward to go to school with was the times that my friends had different schedules or I just didn't have no crush in that class. I looked around and I said, ain't nobody in here my type.
It's not
And it just got worse and worse and worse as the years went on. Because once
yep.
you start in your major, you're usually gonna have the same classes with everybody.
The
For
classes get
those
pigeonholed at that point.
Yeah, like the classes get smaller and smaller, and you seeing them same faces every day. And I was like, damn, it's looking real slim. Um,
Literally.
yeah.
Unless you take like a what's those things called that aren't for your major?
Oh, electives.
Yeah, if you take an elective, then you might see somebody that you haven't seen literally every single semester since you started. But also to that point, talk to the people in your major before you select one, and once you're in one, make a group meet. Sorry, I'm reading off the doc. You need to talk to people in your major, also people in your class. Like sometimes for me, I'd be like, okay, who looks smart, and sometimes I'd be like, all right, let me just make sure, because they be looking. They be in
Yeah,
that front, like, and I'd be like, oh, I don't really understand this. Can you help me? And they're like, yeah, here's my number. They
that
love that feeds their ego.
girl. I'll be like, who's sitting in the front? Who asking questions? Actually,
That
who
part.
asking questions and specific ones, not just what is this? Like, no, like who is in the front asking questions that you would only know if you understand the content.
And read the book.
And
Because
sometimes that was me, depending on the class. So people would come to
yeah.
me. That's how I knew to do that. Because I was like, when I actually understand the content, I'm actually asking like in-depth questions. So I was
Hmm.
like, I'm gonna figure out who in this class know what this lady talking about, and I'm gonna become BFS with them.
Absolutely.
Real bad.
Absolutely. And
And
honestly, three brain is better than one. One of my
hands
one of my
down.
last like senior classes, I had to take like a globalization class, and one girl knew me from high school, and I was like, "Oh yeah, we have met." And another girl, I was like, "I like your stickers on your computer." That's all it took, and
It's
now
that,
we're best of friends.
it's that simple.
Just
And
compliment.
to that point of also making friends and like finding your people, like make sure you find a club or an organization where, especially if you're in high school, that can help build that college application.
Yeah.
Not everything is for the college application. You can do things you love too. Like if you're in sports or you're in like color guard or something, but make sure you can have something to talk about in your essays. This is the biggest thing. I ran my time in DECA to the ground in my essays. Oh my God. You would have thought I started the organization
from scratch.
I ran down that to the ground and try to hold a position as well, because I talked about the fact that I was like the first Black state officer in my position. Like,
Yep.
like really point out what you've done, what impact you've made, and especially if you're Black, make sure they know that.
That part, because my name don't sound Black. My name sounds very Midwestern. Faith Leanne Craig. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
giving. I'm on a ranch.
it's
So
giving ready for supper.
So I really had to I really had to like either make sure like here's my LinkedIn because then you can see, but on paper my mom did a great duty to me because I look white on paper.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I really was running to the ground. First Black, first gen, typically when you hear first gen you kind of think of colored vibes. So yeah, no, definitely run that into the ground because it's going to help you. They love to give out money to Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Real. And especially Black people with stories, sad ones. So you might, did I lie?
Girl, I forgot what I saw on TikTok. It was somebody that had like a sob story, and they was in the comments like, "Hey, your college application gonna go crazy."
Why would they say that?
Why would you say that? Like, it was like a tragic story too. Like, she just lost somebody. Like, it was bad. And I was like, they are not wrong.
They're not
These
like.
people love a sob story. They be in the application room tearing up.
I'd be like, yeah, this is good. And the thing is, a lot of them, those also can help with scholarships too.
Facts.
Yeah. So, also, start working on the college applications, like we said, early. The last thing you want to do is be rushing during your senior year, because senior year, there's a lot of fun stuff that happens, but it gets real, very, very fast. Extremely fast.
I would say senior year was, for me, more difficult than junior year, because that's a different level of pressure. Junior year was like, I just got to make it to senior year. Senior year is like, I got to figure out what I'm doing with my life. So try to eliminate that stress as much as possible by trying to work on your college apps that summer before. Also, I would look at what requirements the colleges that you want to go to have for different levels of scholarships. Because, like, for me, for example, I could have got, like, I think full tuition if I had gotten 1 point higher on my ACT at one of the schools I applied for. So it's like, really look at that before you start doing all the testing and the application requirements and GPA requirements. Because if you have that in mind, you can already shoot for that instead of realizing after the fact.
Yeah. And we didn't put this in, but try to collect those FAFSA papers early.
Oh, forget that, girl. Write down the password every single year.
And write down the social security card number correctly, because I didn't, and it.
Me too. I put mine in wrong.
I put my mom's as mine and mine as my mom's because ours is very similar.
Crazy. Yeah. No, that's a big one. And write down that password, because every time it came to submitting that damn FAFSA by October 1st,
I'm like,
nobody remembered the password. I'm doing forget my password. Then you got to submit the security card number. Then you got to do the question. Like, I was like, this is sick work.
The devil made FAFSA.
This is nasty work.
Like, why would you make it this hard for us to get an education?
To get money, and heaven forbid you make middle class money. Like, FAFSA is really if you are dead ass impoverished. I'm not gonna hold you.
That, or have a 1-parent household.
Yeah, if you have a 2-parent household and y'all kind of doing all right,
you're not.
They're like you got it. Like, they literally hate you.
They literally, and it, like, even if your parents aren't contributing, they're gonna assume they are.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So yeah. No, FAFSA. Basically, you got to lose your job before you apply to FAFSA. Otherwise, they like, you got it.
You're not wrong. You're literally not wrong. But that was high school. That was a little bit longer than we expected, but I think the high school girlies really needed that. Especially if you're first gen. A lot of the vlogs do help. I loved watching like ASU vlogs, like get ready with me for the first day. I ate that up. So that's how I got a lot of subscribers, because but yeah, so let's go ahead and get into college. This is kind of the bulk of the episode. Granted, we are already in the bulk of the episode, so let's go ahead and get into it. I'll go ahead and start, and then we'll popcorn like we did for high school. post-grad depression is real. I know a lot of people
Mm.
say it. I know it's on a lot of tagline vibes, but it's very, very real. LinkedIn also kind of makes it worse simply because you see everybody's accomplishments and things like that, and you're like, and if especially if you're not where you think you should be, you're like, I suck.
Mhm.
I didn't get the GPA I wanted. They did. I didn't get the job that I wanted. They did. I'm not. And then 6 months later, they're like, "Oh, so glad that I got a promotion." Now you didn't get a promotion. Now LinkedIn does kind of make post grad depression a little worse. I will just say that. And so, episode 11, we talk. Honestly, episode 11 and on, we talk about post grad stuff. But episode 11 is life after undergrad, and episode 20 is feeling stuck in your 20s, and those ones really apply to this topic, and that one's featuring Kelly. And I was talking to my friends about this, and I was like, hey, do you guys have any advice? And my friend India was like, you're going to go through a period of loneliness to become a better person and grow. And that
Mm.
sucks to hear, okay, but it's real. Like, we're going to get into friends a little bit later, but like that also ties into it. Like, you kind of have to sit with yourself and realize, what do you want? What makes you happy? And if you got to really take that adult, stride and be like, all right, well, I might have to cut some people off or just to, become that butterfly, like Danae just said. But okay, moms, what's your next one?
Yeah, 100% on all of that. But
Okay.
the one I was thinking of was especially once you're graduating and you're like looking for a job and trying to figure out what your career is, really find a job that has good mobility. And when I say that, I mean whatever company you decide to work for, if you don't like your initial role that you start off in, can you switch to another one? Not easily, but with less hassle. And are you able to not box yourself into doing the same thing for 15 years, for example?
Ew.
That's a little dramatic, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like for a very long time, like will you be able to switch it up and not stay in the same role forever? And I say that because now like I work for L'Oreal. They actually make you switch your job and switch
Hmm.
whatever your role you're doing after 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
They're like, what's next? And it doesn't matter if you're in finance or you're in operations or you're in marketing. If you want to switch functions, which means like going from like finance to marketing or marketing to operations, or it is a little bit harder depending on what your background is, but they will support you in doing that. And
Yeah.
I realized like how helpful that is because it's like I can genuinely choose any role in this company and
Yep.
figure out a plan on how to get there. And it might take a little bit longer. The higher you are, the more rank you have. You know, if you've been doing finance for 15 years and all of a sudden you would become a marketer, you might have to take a pay cut. You like
That
there's
part.
consequences to that because it's not easy to switch, but the bottom line is that it's possible. And I
Yeah.
realized that is so important to me because I like to stay fresh and I lose interest in things kind of quick if
Quickly.
I'm not
Yeah.
feeling it. So really like find a company that suits that. If you're looking for that. If you're looking to do the same job and you like the consistency, find a company that suits you for that. But for me, I realize like I like one company that I can kind of do it all and have multiple careers at one company.
Yeah, and Cisco's a big advocate of that. They love to say one job, many roles. I started in Cisco as the demand planner. Didn't even know that was a job. Absolutely love it. Team is great, but they're also like, okay, we want to make sure you're a subject matter expert in supply chain because once you figure this out, you can literally be such a great help in wherever else you go. Once you understand supply
Mhm.
chain, because that's huge. And so they're like, after 2 years, all right, what's your 5 year plan? And they love
Mhm.
the 5 year plan. I'm like, I don't know. I do not know what I like. I don't know what I don't like. Like, I'm good at talking, and that's literally it. So, whatever we can do to use some analytical skills and talking, let's make some shake. So, might go into marketing, might go into project management. Don't know yet, but I might get my PMP. So, because I feel like there's something missing a little bit. I don't want to go to back to school, but I definitely want to get certification. So, that's kind of that. But on so more so less work, more so life wise, I do want to say, and it is a little bit hard for our type A girlies because like we always want to be doing something, but I always have our hand in something. It's okay to sleep in. Once you
Mhm.
graduate, just rest. I will say, because for that summer before you start work, that might be your last kid summer, and you might be like working at like let's say Texas Roadhouse, Chili, something like that, like just making like some fun money or with tips and stuff. Like just relax, just binge the shows. Like don't try to get certifications, just relax, okay? Because you're
Mhm.
gonna have your whole life to get those certifications and work. This is going to be your last summer where you're not working. You got to think about that. Do not take that for granted. And just binge the shows that you missed out on during the last semester of college. Just relax and just be cool. You know, maybe a little tight pee before you start your big girl job in August. Okay?
Just vibe, twin, just vibe. Like
Just vibe.
that's really all it is, because once you start working, it's no more summer vacations, it's no more spring breaks. Like I think that hit me kind of hard. I was like, dang, I don't got no Thanksgiving break. Like
None.
the only break I'm getting is if I actually redeem that PTO.
And I want to be on a beach if I'm using PTO.
Kind of slow for that. So really, enjoy your time. But on that note, also, like, I feel like in college and in high school, it's very easy to be goal oriented, because it's like, oh, by next semester, I want to achieve this. Da 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 da. Find new goals once you enter that workforce, or whatever you decide to. If you're going into grad school, that might be a little bit easier to find goals as well. But especially if you're entering the workforce, find new goals, because once I graduated college, I had basically checked the main box off, which was graduating.
Yep.
And finding a job. And I was like, okay, it's done. Like everything I had worked for the past, basically my entire high school and college career was off that list. And I checked every box. And I went through this period where I was like, I don't have no more boxes to check. Like I'm kind of just vibing, which is great, because I needed that. And I needed to just sit down somewhere. But at the same time, like after a certain period of time, I was like, I don't even have any goals I'm working towards. I'm literally just existing.
Yeah.
And for a type A girly, that can be very hard to come to terms with, because it's like my life was literally run by the goals I was doing. Like if I knew I wanted to achieve something, every single day I was waking up thinking about how I was going to get to it. So without having anything, I kind of feel like I didn't have no purpose. Like
facts.
I was just waking up, doing what I needed to do, working, sleep, eat, repeat. Like it felt very Squidward like
facts. Huge Squidward vibes.
I was like, I feel like I'm clocking into Krusty Krab every day. Like this is sick work.
Literally.
And like love my job, but it's like, like it's hard to go through that. So I would say try to figure out some other goals outside of work, for one, like family goals, self-development goals, personal goals, fitness goals. Like try to find stuff that keeps you motivated and like you have a purpose.
Yeah. And I know how we like to make stuff like priorities. For me, what really helps for this quarter, it's really helped. Quarter one, I have one main goal, a few little goals. And through quarter four, and having those split up is a little easier because you don't have semesters anymore. So let's do it in quarters, because corporate loves to do a good quarter. Eats it up. All right, you guys, FY24 quarter four. What are we doing? What's our goals? So do the same thing for yourself.
Yeah.
Because it'll align. Your quarter, FY23 quarter one, is going to be there, FY23 quarter one. So it's like, all right, between week 1 and week 13, what we got to get accomplished during work and once we clock off.
No fact.
So I also have some family goals too, like call your grandma once a month, or call your mom, because you're going to be long distance probably if you move. But to our next point, you're going to be working with grown folk. Even though you're 22, 23, well, probably 21, 22, graduating college, you're going to be working with people probably max 75. Okay. For me, I don't work with anybody that I think older than like 60. I don't really ask their ages, but I'm just assuming, but really that was daunting at first for me, because I'm like, what in the heck? Like, for example, today, a man, has been in the military for 20 years. Okay. But my coworker's asking me to train him.
Insane.
I've been on this earth for almost as long as you've been in the military. Like, what? And he's worked with a lot of logistics. So I'm like, you are eons ahead of me in your first few weeks, because you have had military experience in this section. You just have to learn the Cisco way, because that's a whole. Oh,
well, there goes my light.
Literally. It lasted for a while though. I haven't charged mine since Miami. So, and that was literally last year and some change. But use your age as an advantage. Dang, I've been talking for a while. Because you can bring a fresh perspective to the team. Okay. Do not see your age as a deterrent. See it as something that can freaking help you. And it definitely is easier said than done, but it's going to happen eventually. And at the end of the day, you've been working there for longer than whoever is 18, 10 years, even 3 years older than you. So realistically, you have more knowledge than them, company wise. Okay. They might have more life experience, but you have more company experience. So use it to your advantage, and do not make it feel like, oh, like there's nothing that I could possibly teach them. Girl, you know what you're
Mm.
talking about. So teach them,
Facts,
you
because
know?
there's new people on my team. It's to the point where now I'm one of the most senior people experience wise on my team, and I'm telling them how to do stuff. And it's like, it's crazy because these people are coming from big companies and they're just not joining L'Oreal. Like, and they're the new one, and I'm the one telling them what to do, and it's like I'm only 22 telling somebody what to do that has way more experience than me. But also
Yeah,
give yourself credit because you know your job and you know
you do.
what you do. So, don't also lowball yourself and think like, "Oh, I'm not qualified to tell." Like, yes, you are. And they're going to listen.
You did the work. So teach them. And
Exactly.
it really shows that you know your stuff when you can teach. I'm like, oh, I guess huh.
Girl, what got me is people asking me questions and I actually know the answer. Because for the first couple months, it was like, gotta get
I
back to you on that.
a quick little let me get back to you, aka I don't know what I'm talking about. I need to look back at my notes
Girl, I gotta go watch that training video to figure out what the heck
again.
is going on there. Like, it was really like that. And now it's like, oh yeah, just do that, that, that. And I'm like, it feels so good. Just for me to rotate in 3 months anyway. But
That part.
I'd rather be good at my job now than if I was still struggling at this time and I've been in this role for 9 months, that'd be my sign, like maybe this isn't for me.
Yes, yes. We didn't put this in here, but for me, after the 6 month mark, if you're like, I really still don't know what's going on, I would tap in with
Reevaluate.
your manager. Reevaluate, because after that 6 months, I, I think you got it. Like if you actually applied yourself, that's also it.
Right. And also depending on how much work your manager gives you. Like for me, them first 6 months was grind time. Like I think it was also the time of year and like a lot of stuff was happening company wide that like we had to work on.
Hmm.
Like we call we don't have quarters, we have trends. Europeans, I don't know, baby. They decided that.
Yeah.
So we were grinding through trends and stuff. So I just got a lot of experience all at once because it was a very jam-packed time.
Hmm.
And it was kind of just like throw you in the water and figure out how to swim.
Yep.
So, now I feel like I'm even more experienced because of what the time frame I came in at. Like it was a
Yeah.
lot happening at the same time. So take advantage of that. Ask questions. And honestly, if you see a problem, take the proactiveness and fix it. Half
Hmm.
of what I learned was because I was like, I feel like this file shouldn't work like that, and I just changed it. And
Yeah.
I said I made a backup copy of what it was before, and I showed my manager, and I was like, "Hey, I noticed this problem, and I fixed it. And let me know if you want me to change anything." She's like, "No, I love that. Thank you for the proactiveness."
They eat that
Or
up.
yeah, that's literally all you have to do. Figure out because you're a fresh set of eyes. Figure out what needs to be fixed or what can be improved on in the company. Don't just go changing everything at first. Figure out what you feel like can be improved on and save time and make things more efficient, and then just do it.
Yep. And then
And
bring it to your manager like, oh, I did this. Oh,
oh, didn't even have to tell you.
eat it up. They
Eat it
eat
up.
up efficiency and proactiveness.
No, for real.
Okay, moms. The next one.
Really take a inventory count and a stock of what your friends are looking like when you graduate college. Now they're gonna change. This is hard truth to accept, but they're gonna change. But really think about like how do you feel when you're around those friends? Are you happy to talk to them? Do you feel anxious when you leave them? Like really trust your gut feeling. And I realized a lot of the friend breakups that I've had, like I had felt that way about them low key for a while, and I was just kind of hiding that like feeling I had. So
Yeah.
really take an inventory of what your friends look like and realize that as you get older and as you start growing and moving on to new chapters, some people are just for that chapter. And that's okay. You're going to move away or you're going to move on to something new in your life and you're going to grow apart from people, or you might be close still but just not as close as it was when you guys were literally like 3 minutes away from each other and were on campus together.
Hmm.
That's okay. Sometimes you have to go through growing pains to grow. And
Yep.
if those friendships are meant to be, they will not be ruined by you guys being long distance or you guys not being able to see each other every day. If anything, they might even get stronger because it's like you're really having to like put in the time and effort to try to schedule a call or see them. So really take that into account and don't take it personal if you naturally grow apart from somebody.
Yeah. And you got to really think. there's gonna be proximity friends, and that's a lot of college friends. It's just because you guys are super close. You guys see each other every day. It's just the routine. Now, when you guys leave, is distance making the heart grow fonder? Because that's a huge thing. Or it's just like, what else do we really have in common that's not college?
Mm.
And complaining about college. Did we talk about anything other than boys in college? Did we talk about goals?
Oh,
Me?
that's a big one. That's a big one. Is the whole friendship just based on boys? If that friend gets a boyfriend tomorrow and she's in a committed relationship, will y'all still be friends? Now you can't talk and gossip about boys.
That's freaking hard. Because a lot of them will be no. And it's just hard. And you got to think, if you work, so you're prepping for work from 8 to 9, or you're commuting to work 8 to 9, 7 to 9. You get off at 5, get home at 6. From 6 to, let's say, 12, you have 6 hours left to interact with people, do your routine, have dinner, all this stuff. Do you really want to spend that time
Mm.
with the talking to that person? Or it's like, that's a waste of time.
Because those 6 hours are crucial. Are you willing to cut out time in your day to have this person a part of your life? If
Yeah.
the answer is no, trust yourself the first time because there's probably a reason for that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Trust your gut, because at the end of the day, you know yourself better than anybody else.
Right.
But yeah, friends are a huge one. I friend breakups suck, honestly, more than actual breakups. If you know, you know, and if you don't, I'm sorry. But when you go through it, you'll understand. Like, it feels like your heart is like breaking. You
Mm-hmm.
come out of it a little bit stronger. To this day, I still think about my friend breakups, but I'm better because of it. But it still sucks to this day. And this was
Oh
during the
yeah.
pandemic.
Oh, easily. And I feel like friend breakups stick with you. Like there's been multiple like guys that I've talked to and then decide not to talk to and never it's hurt in the moment. And I'm like, girl, it was never that deep. It was
Yeah.
never that deep. But the friend breakups I've had back to like high school, I still hold that to me. Like I still have that in me, that pain.
Yeah. Because I feel like with girl friendships, you think about, even any breakup, you think about the good parts, but with girl friendships, there's a lot of sharing in good parts, and the bad parts might come off here and there, but the bulk of it was good.
The bulk of it was good. And the problem is that usually the bad stuff is just stuff that you just can't get back from. You can't come back from.
Yeah.
It's like stuff that you might have forgave, but you just can't forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Um,
was that me or you? No. That was you.
yeah.
Okay. So next is, you need to make a realistic budget on the minimum amount you'll be making. Like, let's say you're making 60K. I don't know how much that is monthly. But let's say worst case after taxes, because taxes will get you. Depending on where you live in, taxes will get you. Let's say minimum, I'm going to be making $1,200 a month after car insurance, after my car payment, after rent, and really be realistic with that rent, because that price can fluctuate based off of like gas, electric, all that stuff, pests, whatever. How far can I get? If things get hard, let's say you get a ball out till we fall out few months, and you're like, oh, I have not been budgeting. What can you get away with? Like, okay, I can only have $40 a week for groceries. Okay. Well, frick. But you need to make the most bare bones budgets. Now, a lot of people, some people don't do budgets. They just, all right, we got money, we don't, and we'll
Just
figure it out.
vibes.
Yes. But for me, and I think a lot of type A people, I thrive on it, on spreadsheets. So, and even when it's with work, I'm like, ugh. But with my life, I love putting my life in a spreadsheet. Make a most bare bones budget, and then whenever you do make more money, you can adjust it and like, okay, I can spend this amount of money on clothes. But in that bare bones budget, clothes should not be in there. That's
Mm.
just bills and necessities. Okay, and that it might be like that for the first few years, depending on what your first undergrad job is. And with rent, it looking like the way it is right now.
In this economy, listen, like don't let people romanticize on TikTok and online and like this like the soft life era costs. It
It's
costs a
expensive.
lot.
Yeah.
Don't compare yourself. So honestly, if you have to be bare bones budget for the first couple months when you're working just to get your bearings,
Yeah.
just to be settled, like it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck real bad. Sorrows, prayers, but like it is you, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I slept on a blow bed for the first few months. with the mattress topper, so I feel a little deluxe. But yeah, for a while there, I was sleeping up a little bit, and it's like, well, I'm making a decent salary, but realistically, I need to reel it back into a regular budget after moving, because moving costs freaking a lot, and you definitely should listen to season 3,
Yeah.
season 3 to learn about our budgets, because we definitely talked about kind of that breakdown
Yeah, season 3, like the first couple episodes where we're talking about what it took to move, like
to
bands, baby, bands.
band to make our dance, but we wasn't dancing.
And we wasn't dancing, we was crying.
Oh, it was sick. Oh, it was
Bad.
sick. But
Um,
yeah, that that's that budget, please. I'm begging.
Also on that note, it's okay to not do what you majored in. Oh, this one's a tough one to swallow because it's like, why did I spend thousands of dollars going to school if I'm not getting a job in what I majored in? Unfortunately, unless you change majors, you may realize a little too late that I don't like this job.
Yeah,
And low key, that's kind of what happened with me in accounting and trying to go into public accounting. I was like, I don't want to be an auditor. And I realized that a little too late. And it was just like, I don't have the time to now change my major. I'm a freaking senior. It was just like, let me figure out what I can do with this major to make it work for me. And that's
yeah,
basically what I did. I was like, you know what? This accounting is a lily pad.
yep,
I can use it as a chance to get to something else. And that's how I ended up being a financial analyst currently, which is different than accounting and which kind of allows you a little more like, I want to say creative freedom, but you get a little more say and a little more input into decisions that are being made at the company.
yeah,
Whereas accounting, it's just very like systematic checking off a box. But it's like now I actually have control over like the processes that I'm going through at my company. And I get to see more behind the scenes and help in part of making decisions, and I get to make a bigger impact. So
yeah,
figure out, if you are able to talk to people, figure out what kind of careers align with your degree that aren't the straightest path. Because you can take a
yeah.
curved path. I for sure take a curved path.
Same.
And don't let whatever classes you're in dictate also what you think you might be interested in. Because I think when I took finance 101, I was like, this is boring, I hate this, versus actually doing it in practice, it's not boring.
Yeah,
So take that with a grain of salt.
yeah. For me, I said this a lot. First 2 years, computer science, couldn't pass calculus fast enough. Passed it. I was like, all right, I'm tired of spending money, wasting money, FAFSA money, after doing all that extra work. So I switched my major over to computer information systems. A lot of CS students do that at ASU, and it was the best decision of my life. I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm such a failure. But I promise you, I don't even do coding in my job. I'm a business analyst. Granted, that title is kind of a blanket statement. I'm not going to hold you. After a year, I get my official title, which is a demand planning manager or a junior demand planning manager. And even though I coded for basically 4 years, front end and back end, I don't do any coding. And it just kind of taught me to persevere. That's basically
Mm-hmm.
what coding taught me. If I can learn coding, I can literally learn anything. And that, it sucked that I'm not coding, but also I did an internship and it taught me this is not what you want. It's
Mm-hmm.
great money. But the personalities in coding, software engineering, I don't really mesh with. And I'm sure I wanted to become like a scrum master, like just like the program manage, but you could manage quite literally anything. So do your
Yeah.
research, basically, is what I'm saying. And ask questions. Ask us. If you're thinking about being an analyst, just ping us, call from the request line, DM us. We got you and we can help. Um,
Facts.
but also kind of to that point about, everybody graduating and stuff, everybody's going at their same pace. I was kind of looking up topics on this topic, or help more so, and on topresume.com, I've never heard of this website before, but it helped. They were like, don't panic if you're not exactly where your friends are. The key is to do what feels right for you. Take your time growing into the professional you can become. So somebody
Mm.
like, what do you want to do? Not comparing to your friends, or not being compared to your friends. What do you want to do? What do you know you can accomplish? And give yourself like those 3, 6, 9, 12 month goals. And that goes back to making yourself goals. But this is more so
Mm-hmm.
corporate wise. Okay. It is
Yeah.
hard it's like, oh, well, she's making this much and she's not even doing that much. She's watching Netflix every day. But at the end of the day, once those promotions will come, not to put them down, but they're not going to have that much to show, or they might do more work at night, like you really don't know. But in the day, you see them just like on TikTok and you're like, I hate them because I'm working so hard. I'm putting all the hours and I make less than them. Okay, but when promotion season comes, you got it. You got
And
it.
your time will come when your
Your
time
time will
comes.
come. Exactly. Just trust in God's timing. You feel me? But yeah, I feel like everybody's going at their own pace. And stop checking LinkedIn. Turn those notifications off. I promise you. At least for the first few months. Because it's gonna be an influx. Ping, ping. Everybody gonna be looking you up. Like, what? Yeah.
Comparison is really the thief of joy. Like,
Yeah.
don't let what you're seeing on LinkedIn kill your vibe and what you got going on. Because if anything, it's just gonna slow you down from really achieving what goals you know you can get to.
Yeah. Huge facts. Huge facts.
And on that note, also, my mentor at work actually told me this. So she was like, if someone came to you, or if someone came to another person in the company, for example, and they're like, "Hey, do you know Denasia?" And they're like, "Yeah, Denasia. She works on this team." Da 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 da. What 3 words would they use to describe you?
Mm.
And I said, "Oh, that's a good question." And I really was like, I'm not sure. At this point, I was also like 3 months into the company, so I was still trying to figure out like what type of worker I was, like how I wanted to kind of like build my personality, my work personality, and like brand myself in a way. And she was just like, "Okay, well, let's take like someone else you work with." And she like name dropped somebody. And she was like, "What are 3 words you use to describe her?" I was like, "Oh, her, like she's so nice, so kind, so funny." She's like, "Boom, right there. You see, you use nice, kind, and funny. Do you want to be known as nice, kind, and funny, or do you want to be known as strong, as passionate, as a go-getter?" Like,
Yeah.
she was like, personality, of course, like you do want to show how you are outside of work, but at the same time, you are building your reputation in this company.
Yeah.
You need to make that your top priority. Forget if you come off as being like overbearing or like a bitch or whatever you want to call it. And people, when you see a hardworking woman that's like about her business in corporate, because sometimes people will say that. They'll be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, she's, I don't like her attitude." And it's really just a woman who, if a man does it, he's considered determined. But if a woman does it, it's bitchy. She was like,
Yeah.
"Figure out what 3 words you want to be known as, and that will get you farther than anything else in this company, because it's all about who you know and how you're regarded." So she
Tuh.
was just like, figure out what you're going to be known as, and make sure you point that out verbally. If you're in a meeting, you have a question, you be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just a very perceptive person. I noticed that there's something right there. So
Mm.
can you just tell me what that number is about?" Point, like literally name drop what you want those descriptions to be. If you want to be known as perceptive, be like, "Sorry, I pay really close attention to detail. Can you break down like what that was again?"
Mm.
Literally use that to your advantage. And ever since she told me that, I was like, period. So really, like, especially for the early career girlies who are just getting started, make sure you figure out what your work identity is and
Yeah.
stick to that, because it's very hard to backtrack and fix that afterwards. If you get known as someone who is just like frivolous and doesn't really pay attention to detail and is messing up, like it's hard to undo that once
Yeah.
you're already sits 12 months into your role. So
I mean, I'm 9 months in, and I still feel like I feel like, dang, I'm old. You know, like I've been here for a while, and the interns are coming. I'm like, I'm gonna have to teach y'all.
right.
Well,
No, that's
we could be friends outside of this. We could be friends. You feel
yeah.
me? So, but yeah, off of the kind of corporate track that we've been on, we're still kind of going back, but realize what's actually important to you outside of work. Okay. For me, and I think I developed this. It wasn't something intentional, but I kind of developed this a few months ago. For me, it's comfort, convenience, and sleep. If
Mm.
comfort, convenience, or sleep are on the docket, all right, well, I'm gonna have to say bye. I'm not staying at this party until 4 a.m. because that's just not me. Pandemics in my party years, and well, it is what it is. But I know for me, if one more hour of sleep is at risk, I will see y'all later. You know,
Mhm.
if for me, I like to be comfy with clothes and quite literally everything in my life. I don't really like. There are certain things that I will take risks in, but a lot of it I want to be comfy, convenient, and go to sleep. I love a good nap. So just know what, and so just know what you like. And this kind of goes into, and this is a lot of type A girlies into people pleasing. Once you figure out what's important to you, if any of those are on the docket, you're gonna be like, all right, well, sorry, y'all, I can't do it. And that really helps you to stop people pleasing. It's hard, but it's something that has to be done to get you to that butterfly level, like Danae just said earlier in the episode. What about you, moms?
Had to say bye bye. Oh,
Please.
like I'm not doing it. I'm not going. Like there's a lot of songs that match that. It's just
Yeah.
like if it's not on the docket, why am I doing it? And at this point, I have no problem saying no. I will
Mm.
say no all day. I'll say no in Spanish. Actually, I think it's the same in Spanish, but you get what I'm saying. Like, like I will say no every time. I don't care anymore because if you're my friends and you really care about me, and I say, "Hey, bro, I am tired. I can't go out 5 days in a row." It's a no,
Yeah.
and we will try again next week,
Yep.
and that's just that.
That's what it is.
Speaking of the power of saying no, also the power of saying hi. Like, every single friend that I've made out here has literally just been me being like, let me just go introduce myself, or let me
Yeah.
just go on a whim and hang out with this person, or invite them to lunch, or do this, and a friendship has blossomed from that. Because usually, if I'm asked to be my friend or I'm shooting my friendship shot, I already feel like we could be good friends.
Yeah.
So, there's a girl on TikTok that says you should never keep a nice thought to yourself,
I
and
saw
I
that.
have really taken that to like heart, because it's like if you see somebody and they look nice, like make sure you tell them that. Because I know for me, like I get compliments and like those really do stick with me, especially if they're like
Okay.
not even about looks. Like somebody complimented my energy once and was like, "You have a beautiful energy, a beautiful aura," and
Wow.
I was like, oh, that's the best compliment I've gotten in a long time. And it's
That
like,
part.
how they just kept that to themselves. It's like, what's the point? So
That
now
part.
I make it an effort to really give good compliments. And after you give that compliment, like say hi, hello, like introduce yourself. And
Mhm.
the worst that can happen is y'all don't become friends and you never speak again. But the best thing that can happen is that it becomes a beautiful relationship or friendship or whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, don't be
And
afraid to make friends.
yeah, and to that like friendship, what we said like in the beginning, it's you're going to not your friendship gets smaller and smaller as you get older. And so how I met India, she actually came on the pod. I basically was like, oh my gosh, so I asked her a question. She helped me with the question. I said, oh my gosh, black girl, oh my gosh, early in career, we got to meet. And then we met and had a one-on-one, set up one-on-ones, please, for the life of you. Set up one-on-ones, set up one-on-one. We met and then I met and then we ended up living 3 minutes away. Neighbors vibes. We actually just had a catch up call and it was great today. And then with Winston, I met him on a whim. They were like, oh, we're gonna go into breakout sessions. Just happened to be, and I was like, oh, black guy happened to be in Raleigh as well. And now we're the Three Musketeers. Like it really don't
No,
take much to
literally.
make friends. You just gotta put yourself out there, which kind of sucks, but you gotta do it.
It's literally that simple. Like Mia shot her friendship shot with me. And she was like, "You were the only person on the group chat that replied." And I was
Wow.
like, "See, like it's literally that simple. Like literally just saying hi. Say
Yeah.
hi."
Yeah.
Um okay, so now we have some rapid fire tips that we're going to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just get into it. Mom, do you want to go
Okay.
first?
Yeah. Don't be afraid to stay home or in your college town. It's okay to choose comfort and stay where you have a community because when
Mm,
you leave, you're going to have to find your community on your own. It's going to be hard.
facts. Also nobody cares who you were in college once you graduate. We don't care.
We don't care.
They don't ask and you don't really need to tell us. We don't care.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
Basically, just like you reinvented yourself for college, reinvent yourself again for corporate. I mean, a lot of the things you have are kind of solidified, But if you want to change, also stay in touch with those professors/mentors that you met. Mentors are so freaking useful for that first year and beyond. It doesn't matter if you have one or a few. Also, find one that looks like you because that's also very helpful.
Facts.
They know what you're going through.
I just had lunch with my old mentor and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And we still talk like weekly.
Ah,
Um Also figure out how to make 5 to 10 different low cost meals that you can just whip out real quick. Basically get like your menu down. Like stuff that
hmm.
you can make easily and it's going to hit every time. Cuz
Yep.
when it's one of them nights where you don't want to cook but you have to cook and you want it to be easy and simple, you can whip that out and you're good.
And I will say I didn't realize, but Uber Eats. I never thought I'd be Uber Eats girl. Once you get that disposable income,
Mm,
but
girl.
sometimes you kind of get out of control when you first start. I will say it happens to the best of us. You're like, oh, I need to get back into my grocery bag. But sometimes, low key, Uber eating is the same price as groceries.
Man, especially if you live in a very expensive city like me, sometimes it's cheaper to just Uber Eats a meal.
Yeah.
Not gonna hold you. And I'm like, I know Chipotle not gonna fail me, but if I try this new recipe and I done bought all these damn groceries and it tastes nasty, I'm raising hell.
I'm gonna be sick.
Sick.
Um, and finally, if you're thinking about moving for work, see if they have a moving stipend. and when exactly you'll receive that stipend. So for me, I had a moving stipend, but I didn't get it until my second or third paycheck. And of course, I got it my third paycheck. So I had to move on my own. So I had to budget for the whole summer on how to move. I had to ask for my graduation present in order to. I said, "Hey, Dad, can you just send my boxes for my graduation present? Because that junk is expensive across the country, especially. That junk is expensive. So make sure you know exactly when you're going to get that moving stipend. Like with that HR lady, hey, what date approximately? What is the range that I'm going to get this moving stipend? Because now companies don't really send you your stipend until after you start to confirm that you're going to be in the company.
Yeah, definitely. That's the biggest thing out of everything. If you're gonna move, make sure you know all the time frames. That way, you're not coming out of pocket up front and then having to get refunded by the company, essentially.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
what happened for me. But yeah, that dang, that was good.
that was good. That was a lot of good gems in there. And
Facts.
I mean, really, our affirmation of the week is what we honestly just said throughout this episode. Your time is your time. Trust the process. Do not rush it. Do not
Mm-mm.
compare yourself to other people because they probably went through struggles that you're not seeing.
Oh yeah. So Instagram, TikTok, all of them highlight reel.
It's social media is not real.
Not.
We don't post ourselves crying every day. Well, I don't cry every day, but
I at one point I did post that I was crying. Every literally Kelly said every video you have you cry at least for a few seconds. I said you're on to something actually.
yeah. Okay, well that's an exception. But usually most
You
people the people
hey,
you're seeing on LinkedIn aren't when they be posting all them pictures of them at their new job, they don't have a picture of them crying at their job either.
because I did. It was rough. Like that learning curve.
It curves. So
It
make
curved.
sure that you are not comparing yourself to other people because you don't know what they're going through behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And people be
But
lying on LinkedIn. Let's get into that this future episode either.
yeah, I'm gonna put that on the docket.
They be fabricating. Like I know some people and I know like what they do and like what their role is. Or even in college, I would know what type of organizations they're in. And it's very boastful on LinkedIn. I am so proud to announce that I am the president of the United States. You're not, babes. Like people be lying on LinkedIn, low key, or
I
or
didn't even
or
realize.
really like embellishing
Oh, embellishing, yes.
for a fact. Okay, maybe lie is strong, but embellishing for a fact how much the impact was, or like how well it went. Like
Yeah.
yeah, so that's why I really take LinkedIn posts with a grain of salt because sometimes people will post it to make it themselves look better, but it's really not as accurate as was probably actually happening in real life.
Huge facts. Huge
Yeah.
facts. This episode is honestly already long, so we're just going to kind of stop it with affirmation of the week. We have no calls from the request line. If you do want to ask us for advice, it's in our link tree on Instagram. Can we put our link tree in the YouTube bio as well?
We can, yeah.
Okay.
So if you guys want to scroll down, there will be our YouTube. Well, I mean, you already are on YouTube, our Instagram, and also our link tree to
Yeah.
submit.
And it's anonymous. You ask us questions. You let us know things. Da 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 da. Even a good job, y'all. That's all.
That's
We
all.
love it all. We love it all for real. We really
A
eat it up.
cute little check in, if you will.
That part. That part. And we eat it up. So we'll have a longer why would you say that next week. And we love y'all. And please let us know if y'all took anything of this to heart in the comments for the algorithm. Like, comment, and subscribe. Okay.
Turn them post notifications on, baby.
Ding. Okay. All right. We love y'all.
We will
Bye.
talk to y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.